kin of disappeared Baloch men stage indefinite sit-in to protest government inaction. Activists claim that more than 55,000 men have vanished in mysterious circumstances in the last 2 decades. Katachi, protests in Baluchistan for the release of missing, disappeared persons are not new. Neither is the state's silence in response to these protests. So even though the sit-in at Quetta's Red Zone, the area of Zagun Road where important government buildings are located, began on July 21 and has continued over the last 30 days, the protesters have heard nothing useful from the government. But the sit-in will carry on, the protesters say. They have 3 demands. First, an inquiry into the Ziyarat incident of July 16, in which 11 Baloch men were killed by security forces in a fake encounter. These 11 men had earlier been reported missing, said the protesters. The second demand is an assurance from the state to the families of missing persons that no missing person will be killed in a fake encounter. And third, they demand that the families of missing persons are kept informed of the whereabouts and the health of the missing person. Though the Baluchistan government announced on July 28 that it would constitute a judicial committee to investigate the encounter, the protesters say they will not move until the 2 other demands are met. Their demands reflect the reality of life in Baluchistan, where people have been forcibly disappeared since the regime of General Pervez Musharraf, who overthrew the Nawaz Sharif government in 1999. Musharraf's rule lasted till 2008, during which time people of all communities were disappeared if they were deemed a threat to the authority of the state. While the abductions in other parts of the country reduced to an extent after Musharraf's regime ended, the people of Baluchistan continued to suffer the same level of disappearances as they did in the early 2000s. And after a suicide bomb attack at the University of Katachi on April 26, 2022 by a Baloch activist, even more Balochs began to disappear. More than 55,000 Baloch have been abducted since Musharraf's rule. It is a human rights disaster, said advocate